Hello, Parcells Middle School. This is the second podcast of the Era of Good Feelings. Without any doubt, the most sweeping event in the Era of Good Feelings is the Monroe Doctrine. In the Monroe Doctrine of 1823, the primary author isn't President James Monroe. It's actually John Quincy Adams. He is the Secretary of State at this time, and this is basically a document that was written by him. Now, a doctrine is basically a speech. And in this case, it was his seventh annual State of the Union address. And in this, he basically, as the cartoon over here on the right states, James Monroe makes the declaration to the entire world that the United States of America would basically be the protector of our hemisphere over here in the West. And that Europeans over here, that in order for them to think about colonization over here, they're going to have to basically talk to us, get our permission. Now, why is this part of the era of good feelings? Well, this obviously is a demonstration of U.S. confidence. We did not have this prior to the War of 1812. And with the victory in the War of 1812, we have, without a doubt, a profound sense of might at this point. Some of the other events during this time period in the era of good feelings have to do with the expansion of our country. And the expansion of our country is being done in several different arenas. We're building canals. Probably the most significant, as seen over here on the right, is going to be the building of the Erie Canal, which will connect the Hudson River here over to Lake Erie. And this will open up boat travel from the Atlantic into the Great Lakes. The other thing has to do with is roads. We're going to be building and expanding roads. Probably the most important road was the one that went through over here through the Cumberland Gap, which is an area of the Appalachian Mountain Range, which its elevation comes down drastically. And the first road will go through here to Boonesboro, named after Daniel Boone. And Daniel Boone is one of the primary frontiersmen. And the first road here will be called the Cumberland Road, later changed to the National Road. And this will bring about a tremendous amount of expansion of people to the West. Some of the other things during the era of good feelings have to do directly with industry. Oddly enough, the Democratic Republican Party was primarily involved with agriculture, but during their era of complete good feelings and power, they will be the party that allows for industry to take off. Much of this is surrounded around the invention by Eli Whitney, the cotton gin. This allowed for cotton to be profitable due to the fact that the seed could be taken out with relative ease now without being laborious by individuals doing it by hand. Now, this invention then allowed for industry to pop up all over our country, as seen here with Francis Lowell and Samuel Slater's mills. And these will allow for clothing and other things to be produced up in the northern states, making it very profitable. The other thing that allows for all this to occur is we're using steam power. We're expanding railroads, as the charts down here will show in 1820 versus some 50 years later in 1870, the amounts of miles of railroad. Bottom line is the United States is becoming an industrialized nation at this point, all part of the era of good feelings. The saying during the era of good feelings that cotton had become king was pretty relevant at this point due to the fact that cotton now has overtaken the previous number one crop, which was tobacco. And cotton is going to become a major crop. Slavery, however, is going to increase. The issue here, though, is in 1808 at the Constitutional Convention, we outlawed the importation of slaves. So slavery is going to have to be increased in different ways. A lot of it will be due to the creation of family-style lifestyles in the plantations, which ultimately is going to lead to breaking up families, and it's also going to lead to some of our first revolts. The first was Denmark Vesey, and his revolt of slaves in 1822 was stopped, and it was stopped before it ever got